Good, good. My name's Christy. I'm the Mflc. You guys know what the Mflc is?
No.
I haven't seen most of you guys before. So, military and family life counselor. I'm over at HMX and MCAF. My office is in the MCAF headquarters building. So, the military and family life counselors, there's about 5 of us on base. But we're here to help with anyone who's active duty, or spouses, or dependents, with any kind of issues that you guys have. And all of our services are totally confidential. We don't tell anybody what we talk about. We don't write down any names. We don't keep any notes. So you can't lose any kind of security clearance coming to talk to me. Stop by my office, say, hey, I'm having a hard time getting my work done because I have a lot of thoughts in my head. Hey, me and my girlfriend are fighting. Or, hey, you know what, I met this girl and I really like her and maybe I want to ask her to marry me. You want to talk to me about that? Sure. Whatever. I'm having a hard time with my kids. I'm fighting with my fiance. Whatever. We're there just to talk with you guys through whatever kind of issues you're having. So today I'm here to talk a little bit about work-life balance and stress. Do any of you guys have like something that you do to relax, like besides something that's bad for you, like a healthy relaxation technique?
Go running.
Running?
Go running.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think a lot of Marines like to exercise. Singing, that's right. We got a singer over here who likes karaoke. Oh, yeah. Some people like to go driving in their car. Go drive, listen to music. I know one of the guys over in MCAF likes to work on his Jeep because I've been in on the weekend. I've seen him working on his Jeep. Yeah. So we're just going to kind of talk a little bit about work-life balance today and the consequences of not paying attention to the balance, right? So work-life balance is like walking a tightrope, right? So you've got all of these things that are always going on and changing. You've got balancing your kids, balancing work, balancing your family, balancing your career. I like to say, you know, the struggle is real, right? Especially for you guys. So there's lots of things I think that get in the way. There's your external stressors like work, school, the community that you're living in. Sometimes that can be pretty stressful. And then sometimes there's internal stressors like your attitudes, your beliefs, your expectations of people, like your expectation of the guy next to you to clean up on Thursdays really well, and he's kind of lazy and he doesn't like to do it. Sometimes that happens, right? Or, you know, then you have to meet your priorities. So clarifying what you need, creating your personal mission, or establishing the goals that you do for your life, right? So one of my favorite quotes, they say, you can't do a good job if a job is all that you do, right? So we're here today to kind of talk about making things more than just your job, or like making decisions more than just like, oh, I don't want to drink too much and drive because I'll get in trouble, but thinking bigger picture, right? So a lot of people say this is your energy wheel. So you spend over half of your time probably at work, yeah, at least. And then a little bit of time in your personal relationships, like hanging out with your friends, going camping. Maybe you're looking for a girlfriend, going out in Fredericksburg to some of those late night clubs, drinking, trying to make you fix, I heard. A little bit of life maintenance going on, right? Like you got to work out, you got to go to the chow hall and eat, you got to clean your room, you got to wash your truck, and then self-nurturing. So I think that sounds a little soft, but self-nurturing, like taking a time out to do what you like to do. It doesn't have anything to do with the Marines, doesn't have anything to do with your work. So sometimes if we're not balanced in this right here, we have some symptoms of stress. So you have physical, emotional, mental, and behavioral symptoms of stress. So I'm sure you guys know when you get stressed out, right? Under stress, your pupils actually get a little bit more dilated. Do you ever see people walking around and you feel like it's like they're looking like this, right? You're like, whoa, my buddy's got a problem today, right? Something's going on. Sometimes you perspire a lot more when you start getting stressed out, like your body starts heating up, right? Because you're agitated, right? So you're like, ooh, perspiring. Your heart rate goes up and your blood pressure goes up. So if you have a lot of stress in your life, those are things you're feeling inside. A lot of muscle tension. You'll see people like this or maybe like this walking around, right? You know that person's kind of stressed out. And you have a decreased digestion, so your body's not working very well because there's a lot of chemicals inside that are saying like things aren't going well. Okay, so this can lead to some increased focus and alertness in your brain. So those kind of stories that keep going. So sometimes when we have a lot of stress, we have unhealthy ways of managing it, right? Alcohol, drugs, food, displaced anger and frustration, some overspending. Anybody ever overspend?
Every day.
I love after a stressful day to go to Target, you know, it's a great thing to do. I'm like, oh, look, that thing is so pretty. So, you know, one of the things I was talking to Mike about, we were talking about in the summer, right? It's like, you're supposed to be having fun, right? Parties and going out on the weekends. And so sometimes when you're stressed out at work or you're stressed out during the day, you like have a little bit of that extra fun. You're like, you know what? I'm going to have some extra fun today, this weekend. I'm going to go hang out with my friends. And you're a little stressed out, so you drink a little bit more than normally you would. So then you're a little bit hungover the next day, right? And then when you're hungover, you're kind of tired. And you're snappy, and you're kind of rude sometimes, right? You're like, ugh, get out of my face, or I don't want to deal with this guy, or so then you kind of create these little weird relationships with people because you did something that was kind of rude or snappy or agitated. So then you have some relationship stress with the people at work, people in the barracks, maybe with a girl you were dating, and then that leads to you feeling shitty, right? So now you're feeling shittier than you were feeling when you were hungover this morning, right? Then you're like, you know what? I'm kind of depressed. I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun again, right? So then it just keeps going, yeah? So sometimes you got to think of ways to change that stress, right? Some of you guys look young. Some of you guys look old. What do some of the old guys over here do that's a healthy, like, stress lifestyle change that you made from when you were younger, maybe doing something that was more unhealthy? Jake?
Go fishing.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like it. Go fishing. Any of you guys like to fish? Yeah? I think a good, healthy stress management skills, motorcycle riding. Who goes motorcycle riding?
Used
to?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice to like get outside. You can't think too much when you're on your motorcycle because you got to really think about what you're doing, right? So you can't like really think a lot about other things. Yeah? XO, do you have any healthy stress management skills?
Yeah, I was going to say, when I was younger, I used to ride quite a bit. That helped. But now I read a little bit more.
Oh, nice. Reading. That's a good one. Kind of takes you out of your normal thinking and into something else. Yeah. So, healthy stress management, changing that behavior that's making you feel really crappy, right? And changing your thinking and changing the people that you're around. So those are kind of the ways to do that, right? Stopping smoking, reducing your alcohol intake, eating a healthier diet, exercising, sleeping, leisure activities, stress reduction techniques. So you got to kind of change the way you're behaving towards things, right? This is kind of like a passive way of dealing with problems, this circle, right? So this is saying to get assertive, get organized, use humor. You guys ever laugh about stuff? It's like not like kind of dark humor. It's not too funny, but you think it's funny. Yeah. That's a good way to relieve some stress, you know, making bad jokes. So there's some things your mind can do. You can reframe. So this is like my special thing. I tell people, like, I spent like $100,000 learning this word reframe and how to do it. So you're kind of reframing these things that happen in your head. Instead of failing at something, it's an opportunity, right? And I always tell people the shoulds. If you ever hear yourself say should or someone else say should, that's like a red flag, right? Because should is a word that doesn't really exist. Like, what does it mean, should? I should have done that, or I should do this. Like, what does that word mean? It means nothing, really, right? What's the last, what should you do? I should make my bed in the morning. Either you do or you don't, right? Like, should is what? Should is
Stout.
yeah. All or nothing thinking. So if you're like, oh my God, my friend is such a jerk, I hate him. Or, oh my God, this is going nowhere. You can, like, it's extreme, right? That's like extreme thinking. Like, no one is all bad. No one is all good. No situation is all crappy. no job is going nowhere, right? Like all of that thinking, that's like a red flag too. Like ding, ding, ding in your head. When you hear yourself say should, or when you hear yourself like go off to the extreme about something being one way, that's a good idea for you to stop and take a deep breath, right? Focus on the present. So kind of like motorcycle riding. When you're riding on the motorcycle, what do you like feel? What's happening? What are you noticing?
Everything zoomed by.
Everything's zooming by, right? You're feeling the air. You're smelling the smell. You're like hearing a car, right? So that's all really what's happening right in the moment, right? So that's being present. So like right now, it's green outside, right? There's some birds. These guys are laughing. Yeah. The temperature's like kind of cool, kind of warm. Yeah. Those are all things about getting present. So when you feel yourself getting a little bit crazy in your head, it's good to just take a deep breath and feel what's really happening in the moment. Yeah. Reframe. So they have this little thing called the ABCs of stress reduction: awareness, balance, and control. So awareness, like, okay, what's really happening right now? Like maybe I'm mad at my friend or my girlfriend or my boss, right? But what's really happening? What's really happening is we're all just standing right here at this Prince Williams Park. Birds are chirping. Someone's creeping around behind us making some noise. Right? Those are all things that are really happening. So the first thing to do when you're feeling really stressed out, instead of drinking or blowing up at somebody or making a difficult choice, is just to take a deep breath and be like, okay, what's really going on right now? Awareness. And then balance. Checking the thinking, the shoulds or the extreme thinking, and being like, whoa, there's like my thinking is out of whack a little bit, right? And then control, kind of getting back to your ideas about what you want your life to be like, right? Doing some stress reduction. So, some techniques. We're going to do a little technique right now. So, the consequences of making these decisions that are kind of crazy, right, is that will get you in big trouble, which is what we're talking about today. So we're not trying to talk to you guys about, like, don't make a bad decision. We're trying to say, like, we know you're better than these decisions, and we want you to find ways so that you can remember who you are before you make these bad decisions, right? Okay, so if you're standing here right now, just feel your feet literally on the ground. Can you feel your feet in your boots or in your tennis shoes? The ground below you, right? There's ground underneath you. So that's a good first thing I always tell people, like, when you're starting to get stressed out, like, literally, like, you're standing on the earth, like, feel the ground, like, whoo, all right, I'm okay, like, here's the earth, I'm standing on the ground, right? So they have a stress triangle they talk about, and if you put your hands like this, kind of, go ahead, do it, put your hands out, and then walk your hands just a little bit halfway towards your neck, right? So these little points right here, that's your stress triangle. Yeah. Yeah, right? So between these 2 points and right here, if you rub your head right here, this is where a lot of us hold stress, right? So you're kind of like this. You know, I have a bunch of wrinkles in my forehead because, you know, I do that all the time. So just kind of give yourself a little massage in your traps, right? Like, woo! Feel a little stressed out. Give yourself a little massage. Let go of this part of your head, which means like to let your tongue go up to the top roof of your mouth instead of holding your jaw. Just drop your jaw open, set your tongue on the roof of your mouth so your whole face relaxes when you do that, right? Okay, so from this place, you're a little bit more relaxed. You can make a better decision about whatever it is. Yelling at your girlfriend, doing the laundry, right? Not driving 80 miles per hour, 90 miles per hour in your truck, like, yeah. So kind of the consequences of being too stressed out. Can you guys make this like really stressed out face? Do the face and your hands, pull your shoulders up. Can you do it? I know you guys have felt like this before. Right? That noise, that feeling. Okay, then just let all that go, yeah? Woo. Yeah, okay. So these are just some little tiny, no one's going to notice if you're at work and all of a sudden you just start pressing your feet into the ground, right? Like, no one's going to notice that I'm doing that right now, yeah? So these are just ways to kind of work you through these moments of really extreme stress, okay? So life is always going to get busy, yeah? So making the time to do things that you like is really important, okay? And not necessarily just things like going out, like going camping, having a hot dog. You okay about the hot dog? Okay, if someone can tell me one fun thing that they're doing over the weekend.
Duty.
What are you doing?
Duty.
Is that fun?
Oh, extremely fun.
Nap.
What do you have?
Oh my God, I love sleeping. It's my favorite thing to do when I'm stressed out. Working out. Oh, I have these shower too. Seeing family?
Does sleeping count?
Call me older.
Who said run? I drive everywhere. Bar. Camping!
King's Dominion.
Going to a party with your family.
I'm watching soccer.
Ooh, soccer!
Yeah.
Not a sport.
I'm going to family reunion.
Says the fat boy.
I'm stressed out.
You should play soccer.
Anybody else? Still got candy.
Sleeping.
So duty doesn't count?
Duty doesn't count. What do you do besides duty? Tell us what you do to relax after duty.
Sleep.
Oh, sleep.
King's Dominion. King's Dominion. King's Dominion. King's Dominion.
King's Dominion! They got a free day this weekend, you guys. Good. So one other thing, when you're really stressed out, your body releases these hormones, neurotransmitters into your brain that puts all this cortisol into your body, right? You guys know what cortisol is? Stress hormone, right? So when you're feeling a lot of stress, besides feeling tired, feeling grumpy, making bad choices, it makes you unable to process fat. Yeah. So your body's not working well. Like I was talking about, your digestion is bad. So you're actually hanging on to more little fat in your body when you're really, really stressed out. So, that's a good enough reason, right, to wanna relax, to wanna go fishing, to wanna go on a walk or a hike. Yeah. You wanna eat hot dogs right now? Besides taking a deep breath, relaxing your stress triangle, exercising, laughing. Anybody have other ideas about how you and your fellow Marines can avoid making bad decisions?
Oh, Belle, you just took it right out of my mouth.
Talk to your friends?
I was going to say the same thing Belle just said.
Yeah? Yeah. You guys feel like you have some good support?
Say the girliest thing. Sometimes just cry. Let it all go.
Letting your emotions
Man's not
out.
Oh,
Yeah?
yeah, we do.
Just put it in a box and
Yeah.
compartmentalize it and shove it to the back.
Just keep pushing it away.
Crying. What can you do around your, who lives in the barracks? Who lives out in a house or an apartment? Okay. What are things you can do around your house or apartment when you need to get some
Clean.
relax? Clean.
I know we communicate right now.
Clean. Mow the lawn.
Sleep.
Go into your quiet room.
Clean the bathroom. Scrub the toilet.
Sit outside on the porch.
Sit outside. Yeah, totally. Suntan. Yeah.
Lemonade.
Lemonade.
Some whiskey.
Totally. Yeah, I think so too. So, if you're having stress symptoms that are interfering with your life, and the stress reduction methods that you're using aren't working, that's a good time to just go and chat with somebody. Me, chaplain, XO, whoever's in charge of your unit. There's behavioral health services on base too. There's a nutritionist at the gym. She's super nice. If you're having a little trouble getting that kind of piece together, go check her out. She's great. So recognizing the stress symptoms is the first step in working towards this more balanced life, right? So thinking about your ideas about who you are, who you want to be, how your brain's kind of affecting that. Having a strong commitment, right, to what you're doing. I think all of you guys have a pretty strong commitment to being a Marine, right? Yeah. Seeking change is challenges. So thinking about all these things and being like, awesome, like this change, I don't like it, but I'm gonna get through it and I'm gonna make something better of it, right? Having a sense of control. If you're feeling like really out of control and like nothing you can do is gonna affect your life, that's time like to check in with somebody else, right? To be like, hey, I've been feeling really upset. I was just talking to Marine the other day, like, what happens when he feels really upset? Usually he has a couple drinks on a Friday. When he has a couple drinks on a Friday, what happens? He has a couple drinks. Fight with his wife.
Just kidding.
Yeah. She's like upset because she doesn't want him to be grumpy all weekend and hungover. Yeah. So then from there, that leads into this whole other thing, right? So instead of him making those kinds of decisions and having some negative consequences, he can make a different choice, right? Go out fishing, go on a motorcycle ride, go on a bike ride, yeah? Then he's not gonna have these big consequences. So having a strong support network, dudes you can kind of talk to, maybe it's your parents, maybe it's someone at your church. Just get in your truck, take a drive, and call them on the phone, you know? Like, hey, what's going on? I tell people you don't have to say, like, I'm having a terrible day and I hate my life. You just say, like, how you doing, man? Right? So we're going to do just a couple more stretches before the bell.
She has a question.
Oh,
I think sometimes checking on people that you wouldn't normally check on, parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers, cousins, friends that are from another unit, someone that you don't see, helps.
totally. Just saying hi, making you feel like there's this whole other part of you that's alive, yeah, which is who you are, your family, your friends, okay? So back to this little stress triangle, all right? So neck rolls, right? Like one side, and the other side. There you go, there you go. Shoulder shrugs, up, down, up, down, up. You guys are so lucky you get this one first, so you're going to be relaxed the whole day. Okay, another good one is picking fruit. So you're just like reaching up, like you're going to grab something off the tree up there.
I'm
Get
not
some
doing
fruit,
that.
right?
I'm also.
There you go. So neck, shoulder, fruit. Those are good ones. You're standing in line at the grocery store, right? You're just like, ugh.
I dropped $300 on groceries.
When you see the total, you're like,
Last, you know, and the last one is just like the body roll. I don't know how flexible you guys are. Who can touch their toes over here?
Nope, not this guy.
Everybody? Everybody?
I got people behind that.
I can touch my toes. There you go.
dude, my back is killing me. I got
Kind
my
of,
toes.
you know, let your body kind of roll, hang down a little bit. So it's all about just getting this part to relax a little bit, yeah? You feel a little bit more open after you've done that a little bit? Like, you can go up and talk to somebody, you're like, hey, how's it going? Instead of like, you know, this. You guys have any questions?
Off subject, it's not necessarily about consequences, it's more about your job. I know earlier you said that if someone came to you and was telling you something, you don't have to say anything, like it's off record. What if someone comes to you about like suicide, like say they want to like kill themselves? Is that something you automatically have to report, or is it still?
It is. If you're going to hurt yourself or hurt somebody else, then I have to report that. But everything else is pretty confidential. I like to tell people, like, I can meet you off base. I can meet your spouse off base. I can, you know, I can go chat with them over at the Target Starbucks in the afternoon if they don't want to come over. At the library, if you don't want Command to see you talking with me, we can, you know, meet over at the subway and take a walk through the parking lot, whatever. Really, it can be as low-key as you want it to be, and it can be for whoever you need it to be for. Yeah. I like to tell a lot of people, like, for sure, couples work. Oh my God, I'm a free therapist. Like, you don't get this kind of thing out in the big world. So if you have a significant other you're, like, dealing with some stuff with, like, come on in. In DC, it would cost you $250 an hour to do that. So, you know, this is a great resource for you guys. Yeah, and there's a few other MFLCs on base too. If you don't want to see me at the building, I can send you over to some other ones that are a little bit more confidential as far as people seeing you going in and out of an office. But I do have Snickers in front of my office, so
I ate them all. Sorry.
come by and say hi.
I can take away your the chaplain. The chaplain are the only completely confidential counseling that you can get. And if you do come to the chaplain with a suicide thought or if you really hurt somebody or something like that, that it would seem like you need to report it. They can't report it without your permission. But then you have me as your RP or chaplain stuck to you until you decide you want to. So eventually you will get
Eventually you'll tell somebody.
You'll tell somebody.
Yeah.
Benefits.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's right. Those guys are down the hall and I'm around and we really just want to support all you guys however you need support and nobody's there to judge anybody else. So we're just there to give you free Snickers bars.